Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's here and is transforming the way we grow our food. One of the most urgent challenges farmers now face is rising temperatures. As the planet warms, crops around the world are struggling to survive. Heat stress, which was once rare, is becoming a seasonal norm. For staple crops like wheat, rice, and corn, even a few degrees above optimal growing temperatures can dramatically reduce yields. In tropical and subtropical regions, some harvests are already declining. In places where climate conditions once supported robust farming, the heat is turning fertile ground into dust. Extreme heat also disrupts the timing of planting and harvesting cycles, throwing agricultural calendars into disarray. And with each passing year, the unpredictability of climate makes it harder for farmers to adapt. The implications are serious. Lower crop yields mean higher food prices, increased hunger, and deepening inequality, especially in the world's most vulnerable communities. But there is hope. Scientists, farmers, and policymakers are working together to develop climate resilient farming solutions, improve crop yields, and adopt sustainable practices.
Farmers out there, it's always exciting to be with us. Um, at the Eco Farms, we are continuing to churn out resources to strengthen other farmers' capacity who are struggling with some of the challenges with these novel ideas around greenhouse farming. And should you be more experienced, we welcome you to share your thoughts and your experience so that we can strengthen each other. In today's video, we are talking about the need for shade nets, what shade nets are, and why do we need them in our farms. Shade nets, as the word says, shades, essentially materials used to reduce the intensity of light uh, in the farm, in the farm condition. They're a game changer for the growing weather normally we're experiencing. It's no news that we are experiencing higher temperatures across the globe, including our location in Jos Plateau that is known conventionally to be cold. Now we're experiencing more heat and more hot days. Um, when the weather in the greenhouse is hot, plants essentially go through a lot of stress. And the stress plants, it's a disease-prone plant. And so what farmers do is to find ways to reduce this heat. And what we use or what we recommend for use is shade nets. If you picture a typical forest environment, where traditional farmers have pruned off trees and sunlight is able to diffuse through the trees and just give a little bit of sunlight sufficient for vegetables to grow. What you experience is that such vegetables that thrive. And when you cut off the entire forest and everywhere is hot, what you experience is these vegetables that have been adapted to growing in moderate light are exposed to so much light and it's detrimental to them. So in the greenhouse, what we use to shade and reduce the ambience of sunlight, the heat, reduce temperatures also shade nets. And essentially, in typical greenhouses, be it 8 meters by 20 meters or 8 meters by 40 meters or 50 meters as your farm may carry, what you need are shade nets that should slightly align with the same dimension. They could come typically in 2 meters or 4 meters, and then they can come in the length of your greenhouses or slightly longer than that, and you can trim them to fit the dimension of your farm. One key area you need to focus your attention on are two things. How do I install my shade net? And also, what is the right shade net to use for my farm? Typically, vegetables grown in greenhouses like bell peppers, beef tomatoes, and cucumbers require shading, some level of shading. Shade nets come from percentages as much as 10 to 20% shading to as much as 30 to 50 or 70, 75% shading. What this means is that these shade nets of various percentages reduce different forms or intensity of lights to go into the farm. Conventionally, what we recommend is 40 to 50% shading. And what this does is that it reduces nearly that percentage of light coming into the farm, and it gives you young plants coming up with better growing area. It protects your fruits from sunburns or sun scour, and importantly, when you're about to transplant, it helps to reduce transplantation shock. And so when you're installing your shade nets, you need to consider certain factors. Bell peppers take some time to grow to the height of the greenhouse. Say maybe a typical greenhouse of 4 meters or 3.5 or 3.8 meters. But beef tomatoes and cucumbers are fast growers and they can fill up your greenhouse in time. And so your workers can go through a lot of stress to installing inside the greenhouse, because we have two types of shading, either externally or internally. And then when the plants have peaked very good height, you now begin to take them out. So for cucumbers and beef tomatoes, if your environment is so hot and you must shade, we recommend you shade from above. That means you shade externally above the greenhouse. And then for bell peppers, we recommend that you shade internally. And what you do here is that as the peppers begin to grow and approach the height of the shading, if they come to nearly half the height of the greenhouse, you may consider some in-house husbandry practice to reduce the need for shading. This will require you to reduce your pruning so that the plants will shade themselves. That's also some protocol for economic management, because the more foliage your plants have, the more they are able to naturally shade themselves, and the less foliage they have, the more you need some form of shading. So when you're pruning, you need to take into consideration, do you need shading? If you need shading, you may decide to reduce your pruning. And for bell peppers, it's important you shade them when you are transplanting, because they are more prone to transplantation shock, particularly if you did your nursery on raised beds on the ground. But if you used cocoa pits to do your nursery, as we recommended in the previous video, you may not really worry so much. And so essentially, when it comes to installation, what you need is a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 3 individuals to work with you. And you spread the net across the region where you want to install and properly reinforce it. You could use UV treated strings like twine ropes to properly brace them to the side of the greenhouses. Or you could use binding wires, which are very durable and can last under the elements. And so this is where we draw the curtain to close on the video on shade nets. Please feel free to send in questions. If you have a farm and you're experiencing challenges with excessive heat and you're looking for ways to manage heat stress in your greenhouse, reach out to us and we will be able to give you a tailored response and answer on that. Thank you.